All here, family is all here, and it's an interesting day to wake up in New York City.
Oh, it's wild. This is why we move here. This is it. Center of the world.
Tabloids are having a field day, Kat.
Yeah.
A field day.
Well, you can't do that and not show them, Kyler.
Who won?
Who won? I feel like, all right, we've got here the look that kills, and it's Gase with the eyes. That's not a... That's low-hanging fruit.
Is the eye thing old, Peter?
Not yet. And then there's this one, Mac the Knife, which was a nice reference. I think it's a Bobby Darin song. And there's
the eyes again.
There's the eyes again.
Okay.
New York Post, back pages, can't
Field
beat 'em.
day. Field day.
But if he wins the Super Bowl, here's looking at you.
GMF.
Kid.
That's a good
With those
name.
eyes.
I like that.
Here's
The
the answer.
optimism. Okay, Pollyanna, let's do this thing. Yesterday, the Jets did indeed part ways with GM Mike McCagnon. And here's what the chairman and CEO, Christopher Johnson of the Jets, had to say about that decision.
It was only through diving deep into the organization that I understood how this organization was lacking in certain ways. I could with Todd. I could not with Mike. This had nothing to do with Adam. I mean, I want a good give and take between our GM and the coach. This was not one person or another winning a power struggle. This was completely my decision.
Wild 24 hours for the Jets as we say good morning football to Rap Sheet, Ian Rappaport, who's also in New York to share how this all went down. I want the details, Ian.
It's not just about Adam Gase, although the relationship with Gase K clearly did play some part, a rather large part, of course, in the departure of Mike McCagnon, firing 3 weeks after the draft, which really the timing of this is something that has caused more criticism than anything, because just based on the job performance, the fact that they had to basically rebuild twice, spending all that money, the sort of inability to make trades and the frustration from other general managers in his decision-making, the actual choice to fire Mike McCagnon is not something, at least in NFL circles when I talk to other decision makers and general managers, it's not something they criticize the Jets for. It's really just the timing here. But from my understanding, it was about the indecisiveness of Mike McCagnon and the fact that he definitely went a little crazy in free agency. Gase was not fully on board with spending all that money for C.J. Mosley, spending all that money for Le'Veon Bell. All of that added up, and probably took a little longer than he wanted, but all that added up to Christopher Johnson moving on from Mike McCagnon. And so it's interim general manager Adam Gase, who struck last night and traded former first-rounder Darren Lee to the Chiefs, his first official move in charge. And now it's about finding the replacement for McCagnon, and no doubt it's going to be someone who has worked with Gase in the past, or at least someone who can work with him in the future. Joe Douglas of the Eagles, Lance Newmark of the Lions, Champ Kelly of the Chicago Bears. Those are three names to consider when you talk about possible replacements for the Jets.
The Jets trying to establish some sort of synergy and take a step forward before the season starts. Thank you so much, Ian. We'll keep our eyes peeled on those names of eligible candidates. Let's talk about the Jets, though, one of our favorite segments ever called the Throwdown Thursday. I mean, it's been a crazy offseason, good and bad ups and downs for the Jets. And Adam Gase, with this news yesterday, I feel like all eyes will be on him in 2019. But he's also not the only coach who'll be under the microscope.
Right.
I'm looking at the desert over there in Kliff, Kingsbury. So Throwdown Thursday, round one. Which head coach is under more pressure to succeed this year in a vacuum? Adam Gase, Kliff Kingsbury.
I think this is a flawless victory for Adam Gase. Kingsbury, of course, the turbulence with Rosen and whatnot. Fact is, Kingsbury has a rookie quarterback in a very good division. 5-11 this year. We're making progress. Gase, guys, if they start out 1-3, whoo, baby. I mean, Gase isn't here for it. He doesn't like getting his chops busted. He doesn't like hearing the BS. And if he's already sniping about this is pissing me off, what are they going to do if they lose 3 in a row? I think it is 100% Gase. I'm in Gase.
I think at our table, we're going to put pressure on Kingsbury because of this move he made to get Kyler. But I'll take you behind the curtain a little bit. We go back to the NFL league meetings. Every head coach is at a table. I go to the Arizona table, and this Josh Rosen thing is brewing up. It's middle of March. Everyone's talking. They're taking Kyler. The local media there, the guys like Kent Summers, all those guys are really respected. they're asking questions about the backup tight end position. They were not putting him under the hot lamp. Like, are you taking Kyler? Are you taking Kyler? I think it's a different media market. Not that they're not great journalists and that they do the work, but here in New York, it's all about multiple tabloids, multiple expectations, and they know if you don't win in this town, you will be lambasted. In Arizona, I don't think it's the same pressure cooker as it is here in New York.
This. Adam Gase spoke to reporters, that media that you're talking about, and said everything's cool with Maccagnan. Everything's great. That clearly was not true. He was sort of misleading the media. Are they going to look at him a little bit differently? Is he in trouble with the media right now?
Look, this is not a kumbaya situation when on the back pages they've got him with the eyes and all this stuff. And
I feel like they got.
They outright lied to them and said, hey, there's absolutely no truth to that, 100%. I'm angry that there is. And then here comes Tuesday. He's like, oh.
Nate, asked Steve
Wilks
Wilks how it is in Arizona, right?
Right, exactly. Listen, it's okay to keep things close to the vest if you're Adam Gase. I'm fine with it. He knows that people are out to get him. This morning, I put Adam Gase. And just now, over the course of the show, thinking about this question, I'm going with Kliff Kingsbury. I'm going in a completely different direction. I feel like if the Jets don't play well, then people will just say, you know, you had all the super talented players and you couldn't put it together. But if the Arizona Cardinals don't play well, there's a collective I told you so to Kliff Kingsbury in the organization. There's I told you so to Kine for hiring this coach who got fired and was a coordinator for USC, and then you give him this big bag of money hoping he's the next Sean McVay. There's an I told you so to people saying, well, you had Josh Rosen. You had a number 10 overall pick. Why not just keep him and work with that? And then I think there's another I told you so. Quite frankly, if Kyler Murray doesn't play well, there's a large population of people that will say, I told you, undersized quarterback, it just doesn't work in the league. So there's people waiting for the Arizona Cardinals to mess up so they can raise their hand and say, I told you so. I knew it wasn't going to work. So I say the pressure's on Kliff Kingsbury.
Throwdown Thursday here on GMFB. Howard Stern, speaking of New York, has a new tell-all book out. These books are awesome, so I'd like to know which players tell-all from the last 4 months would you rather read? Odell or Rosen? Round 2, fight.
I don't really want to hear much from Rosen because we pretty much know what happened. He was in Arizona. He sat around for a while. I think the best part of the tell-all book would be the chapter about Kyle Brandt wearing the free Rosen shirt. But for me, I would love to get a deeper dive on Odell and how he really felt about his time with the Giants, how he felt when he found out he was getting traded, and how he felt when he actually got to Cleveland. You know, in our conversations, he's very transparent about how he felt when he got the call that he was traded. It wasn't the most exciting feeling in the world for a team to say, we're going to trade you, because in our minds as football players, you're about to be pushed out like garbage. Even though you're getting money and you're still getting paid and you're playing for a professional football team, when you get traded away from a big market like New York, you feel like discarded trash. So for me, I would love to hear like Odell be very transparent about how he really felt about it.
Can you make a case for Rosen?
Yeah, and I'm going to make the case for Rosen because I love that Odell has things. I think Rosen has taken the high road for the most part. Yesterday I said he shouldn't have done the interview with Rich Eisen. What was the win? He didn't say anything that was toxic.
Right, no doubt.
Rosen's got takes, though, I'm sure, and I feel like Rosen would love to tee off on how he was treated the last several weeks. If you don't get a call from the coach until the day of the draft and everyone else in national media is saying, you ain't going to be the quarterback next year, I feel like you've got some thoughts brewing. I don't know what his thoughts are and what his true feelings are, but Rosen's no dumb guy. I feel like he could pen quite a book on this thing. I'd be curious to read it.
The problem is he has too many takes, Peter. That book's going to be 3,000 pages, and it's going to be Nathaniel Hawthorne references and allegories and motifs, and just on and on and on and on. My favorite book that I've ever read is The Dirt, about Motley Crue. Give me Ozzy Osbourne snorting a line of ants off a popsicle stick. I want the rock star, and especially with Howard. I was a guy who read the book Private Parts and Miss America. Give me Odell's story. Just give me a peek at it. It's all I need. I think it'd be 20 pages with pictures, and I'm in.
Who do you want to shout out from the Howard Stern?
The late, great Blue Iris, my favorite whack packer, unbelievable legend of the show. What do you got?
Eric the actor.
Eric the actor?
Eric the actor. These are all people who are no longer with us today, but they were part of the Stern community.
Yes.
Wait, well.
Big Beetlejuice guy.
Yeah. Nate.
We'll do a lightning round, I guess, guys. Lions head coach Matt Patricia was on our show this week, and among the many great answers he gave us, we learned a little more about the iconic pencil that is in his ear. What is a better, more iconic look, though? Him or Belichick in his hoodie?
Ooh. Well, let's look at the
pencil. Google.
Look at that. Stock images. As the famous hoodies, we got, Robin Hood.
Talk about it.
You got Compton.
Talk about it.
But famous pencils, The Joker kills someone with a pencil. Jack Dawson's pencil. John Wick has a pencil. It's a better list. I'm going to go Maddie, Pat, pencil, Ticonderoga on the ear.
I'm going with Ticonderoga #2. I'm with Kyle.
Yes.
I'm a big pencil guy.
I'm surprised by this.
I'm going with the hood.
The hood?
Man. Yeah. Listen, like you said,
As usual, going with the hood.
Got to represent for the hood. There hasn't been a hood this scary since you talked about it, Compton. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going with Ricky. Shout out to Ricky, rest in peace. I'm going with Boys in the Hood.
And
I'm going with the hood.
Is Throwdown Thursday. That's how you do it, gentlemen. What would John Gruden say to Antonio Brown if you did a little role playing? What would he say to hype him up? Kyle?
I'll tell you after the commercial.
That's
I got a whole thing he's going to say.
Nothing about this. And we will hear from one Dak